Abusua mu bibi akwa famra 2K News and Blogs eso abusua as usual yaba ne say ne chese. Nsɛm ahodoɔ a ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ Ghana ha sei in the various political parties said abebe am sika no. Ɛno ane aba ase abebe abeso mo. Meso so adaroma. Yɛbɛkɔ ne akɔ akɔtie nsɛm ne a hesiri sitie pɛn yi ane. Meso sɛ ubenya bre obɛgye bre na ubenya adagye na wahwɛ video yi. Ɛde akɔ akɔsi ama me. Adaroma unya subscribe ma 2K News and Blogs channel yi na wa subscribe ɛde ama me. Wohwɛ wi a wobɛtumi nso do comment about comment section hɔ nom nsɛm no sɛdeɛ ho teɛ wobɛtumi akenkan de ama wo mempɛ sɛ meka sɛ bɛtenten yɛnkɔ yɛnkɔtie saa nsɛ wo nkyɛ mu pɛi ɛmmra.
Let me hear from Salma. Salma, please go ahead. Please give the microphone to Salma.
Good evening, Your Excellency, and thanks for the opportunity. My name is Salma Ahmed of ICRA Radio. Your Excellency, having advocated for the creation of the Zongo Development Fund, how impactful has it been to the Zongo and the inner cities? Thank you.
Umar Sanda from City.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Mr. Vice President. I have a message from your in-laws, the Fulani people. They say I should tell you that, and remind you rather, that they are still being discriminated against when it comes to obtaining national ID cards, the passport and so on. So kindly work on the discrimination part for them. My question, your critics, mostly the NDC, they say that the economy has overused, so you run away to digitalization. What is your response to such a criticism? Thank you so much.
Anybody from Savannah region?
State 2 failures of your current administration which you seek to correct, and how do you intend to do this differently should you become the president? Thank you.
Thank you. Central region.
It's very difficult to hear the NPP talking about the fight against corruption. I don't know whether that has been captured in the manifesto. If it has, can you throw a little light on it for us, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. You've been touted as one with integrity. And we know integrity is anchored on trust. On your campaign tour, you're making promises. In some instances, a renewal of those you've made in the past. Thankfully, you'll be reminded of you made in 2016 to relieve Ghanaians of the suffering. 7 years down the line, there is still suffering. This time around, excruciating hardship. You are appealing to Ghanaians to promote you to the higher office of the land. Respectfully, do you think you should be trusted with a mandate that you are, or you have what it takes to relieve Ghanaians of what they are going through? Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. So basically the question is that between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and former President Mahama, who should a Ghanaian voter trust? He would respond to it. Please give the microphone to Nana Okatakyie Afrifa. Okay, it's with Evans. So let Evans come then. Okatakyie will come then. Uncle Ebokwansa will come.
Okay. My name is Evans Benson. I work with Joy News. On page 29 of your manifesto, you promise to protect Ghanaian cultural values. My question to you is, as president, will you sign the promotion of Ghanaian sexual rights and family values bill?
Thank you. Okatakyie, I think we've taken more than the 6 at this point. Uncle Ebokwansa, please let us hear from Okatakyie Afrifa, then we come to Uncle Ebokwansa.
Good evening, Your Excellency. As usual, I would like to ask my question in three. Say how Janansi as would the Ajamo Pambo Tibebusanitri. Your Excellency, a year na me free a year as an Kregua and an important ever. Na me koi with Madame Fwa no see a morning show of a Kesman Kwame Apiakubi. You could do on a near mana El Kosuni be, Your Excellency. It is heart-wrenching. Seminoka say, Tanos you Idaho. It's tobre. Meet me Gina, the middle of the tunnel is you, Namananso, Domine Jesus Christo. That is how bad the destruction of our waters have become. Enra, we have to turn ourselves into citizen vigilantes to arrest some Chinese people and send them to the police station on this matter. Besides that, Achimota Forest, Yanyan TSA, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources said, year in, year out, a certain Owu family, Aya Giasasi free on 1927, Yanchia Omoka, and T. Omodibi Koma Owu family, no. Your Excellency, wait here, and your question. A chopper. Achimota Forest, here the Owu family bika, a binding Chia Owu family nika. Na forest no and na ho. Nemo issue your forest said the YC say no in our quest to benefit from the natural resource of this country. I don't think we can continue like that as a nation. At the end na wo obeye sebeya yeshua yaseno abedri you bet me reclaim me na you bet me body that one obai amanda chinchima. Thank you.
Please let's take Uncle Mbokwansa so we can, because I think now we've taken almost 9 or so questions. Asking for votes I know is that's fair, right? Okay, Eben.
All right, thank you very much. So my name is Eben. I work with YFM Ghana. I came all the way from Kumasi actually.
You're welcome.
And YFM Ghana has always been one of Ghana's biggest when you talk about media, especially with relations to the youth.
Let's go to the question.
Now, the question is, I work in the creative arts industry. Most of the times we get to see our celebrities or people in that industry only when it gets to elections. That's when politicians want to use them because they do know that they carry certain power and they can actually help communicate. Now my challenge is that what do we have for the creative arts industry? So many things have been said. One of the things that they often look at is tourism, year of return, beyond the return, which everybody can attest to the fact that it's been successful. Now, what are we doing with our movies? What are we doing with our music, our internet? Because today, we can change the narrative and perception about Ghana with movies. But unfortunately, our movie industry is kind of on a decline. When you talk about actors and actresses, we get to hear of them when they're on their sick beds. There's nothing for them. Any kind of pension scheme, any kind of thing for them. What do we have for the creative arts industry? Since we hold a huge power to actually change the narratives of this country, and the creative arts industry also gets to employ thousands of people.
Then Yakunama will come, and then we are done.
Hello. Miracles, do I have the floor?
Yes, Paul.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Vice President and colleague journalists. I think we're having a very interesting time. Mr. Vice President, I covered the NPP presidential primaries in 1998. I covered election 2000. I covered the NDC contest for election 2004, the one between Mills and Kwesi Botwe. I covered election 2004, 2008, 12, 16, 20. I have never seen a presidential candidate, whether in opposition or in government, focusing his campaign to the people about policy initiatives and policies that have been achieved. I also covered the UK election in 2001 for Tony Blair, and I covered also the UK election in 2019. You will find in those places that they were always articulating policy, what can be done, what can be solved. You will find here in all of those historical elections that we were not doing that until Mahamudu Bawumia arrived on the scene. Mr. Vice President, whatever happens in December, you have changed the politics of Ghana and Africa for a long time to come. have nothing more useful to add except that God bless you.
Thank you, Paul.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Yakunama, please take the microphone to Upper East, Natalie Ford, and then Kasapa.
Thank God that finally grace located me for me to be called. Good evening, Your Excellency, and thanks for the opportunity. I go back to the manifesto. Improved, you proposed a number of new tax regimes. You talked about Ghana's ports being competitive to that of Togo. We know Togo is mainly duty-free. Is Ghana ports going to be duty-free? And if you do that, coupled with the number of taxes and levies you intend to abolish, then there will be shortfall in revenue, which we know that the budget we draw year by year is highly dependent on loans and donors.